It is November the 12th, 2019, 4:45. We will call to order the special call meeting of the Johnson County Fiscal Court. If you would, let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and also let's remain standing for just a moment after the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This is the first call meeting of the Johnson County Fiscal Court since the passing of former County Judge Executive Roger Tucker Daniel. And I feel like it's appropriate for this fiscal court to recognize Judge Daniel in this meeting, being the first meeting after his passing. We also want to recognize and thank Doug and his folks, and Sheriff Sager and his folks, and all Gary McClure for planning and coordinating with all the fire departments to show proper respects on the day of Judge Daniel's burial. But if you would, at this time, on behalf of this fiscal court, let's all take a moment of silence and remembrance of Judge Daniel, please. Thank you all very much. I don't have any other announcements this evening. We will meet again next Tuesday and take up some additional business on behalf of the county. Next Tuesday at 4:45, another special call meeting. Tonight we attempted to especially streamline our meeting tonight. I do want to recognize Bob Shurtleff is with us tonight. Bob is with Kentucky Power. He's with Economic Development and Operations, both with Kentucky Power. Bob's a huge asset for our community, and we appreciate him stopping by to be with us tonight. So thanks for being here, Bob. We appreciate it very much. In your packet, you have the minutes from the regular meeting on October 14th and the special call meeting October 21st. After review of those are in your packet. We entertain a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
Make a motion to approve both sets of minutes.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Gerald. Second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any other questions or discussions about the minutes? All in favor? Any opposed? Next item on the agenda is the approval of the monthly bills. You have the claims list for all departments. You also have some additional claims related to the election last week, as well as just some miscellaneous claims that have come in since the printing of the claims list. If you have any questions on those, please ask. I will mention that you will find in there for your approval the checks for the volunteer fire departments that are done each year. Those are for $8,000 each for those volunteer fire departments that qualify through the Kentucky Fire Commission. And so we have those in there for your approval. And then it is our plan to distribute those checks to the fire departments at the meeting next Tuesday evening at 4:45. And I think Gary is going to help us get in touch with them to make sure they're all aware to try to send a representative from those departments that have met the qualifications. But those are also in your packet for approval this evening. Is there anything else in the monthly bills that you would have questions about that Betty or I, either one, could answer? And we'll have further updates on the road department, FEMA projects, that type of thing. We'll have a further update on that next week as well. If there's no questions, we'll entertain a motion to approve the monthly bills.
Make a motion to approve the monthly bills as presented.
We have a motion to approve by Commissioner Adams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sager. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Next is transfers for this month. And you have copies of those transfers in your packet. We'll briefly take a look at those. Essentially, for all supplies, reimbursements, those are some reserved for transfer. And then you also have in the road department a couple of transfers in the road department. The reason for that transfer in the road department primarily is because we're obviously still expending for the repair of all the FEMA projects. We obviously have to pay for all that now and then file for reimbursement from FEMA once these projects are complete. But we had to transfer some from reserve in order to cover those expenses. That's on the first page of the transfers. Second page is the transfer to the jail fund. That's $40,000 again this month. And then also a transfer related to the employee health accounts. The last transfer is a request from Sheriff Doug Saylor. It's a total transfer of $10,000 between 3 line items, and he has identified in that request from what account those funds would be transferred from and what accounts they would be assigned to. We included this in our transfers tonight because, as you all know, the sheriff's budget is included in part of our approval process with our general fund budget. So he's made the request for those transfers for his office. Is there any questions on the transfers at all? If not, we'll entertain a motion to approve those.
I make a motion to approve the transfer.
Motion to approve the transfers by Commissioner Sire. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Adams. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? You also have some additional financial information in your package as well, just the usual bank balances and monthly report. Next on the agenda is approval of the county court clerk's third quarter 2019 report. You have a copy there. If you have questions on that, Sally is with us, so she can answer any of those if you haven't. If not, we entertain a motion to approve her third quarter report. Remember that the sheriff and the clerk both operate on a calendar year, not a fiscal year. Any questions? Motion to approve the third quarter clerk's report.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald. Second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sager. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The next item on the agenda is just open bids for the purchase of a skid steer loader. We advertised for this for the road department. I was made aware in January when I started serving the county that the loader that we have down there would probably need to be something we would have to address fairly soon because of its age and condition. We've been fortunate enough to keep it running for about 10 months, but I think we're reaching the end of its useful life. And so we put out a bid specs. We're trying to make things a little more versatile for us with this piece of equipment, a little more flexible. So we actually bid a skid steer loader unit so that it can actually go out into the field and do work as well, and not just be used on the lot there at the road department. So the only bid that we received was from Leslie Equipment, and we'll open this. Open the bid. And it's a bid for a 2019 John Deere 331G. The unit does have 50 hours on it. It does include an 84-inch bucket and 48-inch forks. Obviously, there's a lot of specifications with it, but the price is $58,529.36. $58,529.36. This is we obviously budget, as you can see in the budget. We budget every year for equipment purchases for instances like this. But this is the only bid that we received, and I would ask that you would consider making a motion to approve this bid, subject to review of the specifications, and then obviously working out the details related to the purchase and/or payment, whatever how that we that gets worked out. And if it's anything other than straight out purchase, then we'll obviously bring it back to you. But we entertain a motion. Here's the specs too, if you want to take a look at it.
Bill looked at that one.
He
Just let me look at it.
well, this particular unit we have actually have looked at. We're familiar with the unit, and we put the bid out there. We expected to probably get a couple, 3 bids actually, because there's other suppliers for a similar unit, but we actually only received 1. But what we like about this is the loader that we've been using down there for years was limited to only use on that property down there. This would allow us to not only load trucks, but it allows us to go in the field with this unit as well. Because you all know how skid steers are made. I mean, you can put milling attachments to them. You can put hole digger attachments. You can put just all kinds of attachments to them that allow you to do so many different things. So it creates a lot more flexibility for us in operation of the road department.
Easier to transport, looks like.
We can transport on a trailer, but I think we already have a trailer that's sufficient to actually transport the unit. So, like I said, I was made aware that we'd probably be facing this back in January by some of the road department staff, but we were able to spend a few dollars and keep what we had going, but we've kind of reached the end of its useful life, and we really can't afford to be without, because that's our primary piece of machinery we use to load out all our materials put down there.
I'll make that motion that if it meets all the criteria and stuff.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Adams that if the loader meets all the specifications as advertised, then we move forward with the acquisition of that unit. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Next item is the Sheriff's third quarter report. You have a copy of that in your packet. Sheriff Saylor is here. Do you have any questions on the report? Again, he operates on a calendar year, so this will actually be for the third quarter of 2019. Any questions on the Sheriff's report? If not, we entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the sheriff's quarterly report.
Motion to approve the Sheriff's third quarter report as presented by Commissioner Adams. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sager. Any other discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? The last item on the agenda is a update to the administrative code. Let me say this too, that within a short period of time, maybe possibly by next month, I'd like to present to the court for their consideration essentially a complete updated administrative code. But in the interim, this item is in front of you. This revision has been brought to my attention and to Betty's as well by the auditors that one of our policy related to expense reimbursement needs to be amended. And so what we put in the packet for you is to see what the current language is in the administrative code and then what the proposed language change is. This will just be a part of the overall administrative code approval. Hopefully next month we can get the admin code put together, a complete draft for your review. But this is not that needs to be addressed in the interim because we are aware that we are not, in some instances, not compliant with this particular code. And again, when it comes to travel reimbursement, you can see the amounts that were in place, and it's hard with the current costs and expenses of travel. You just really cannot travel with those reimbursement levels. So the previous code identified values for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What my proposal is as stated there, an employee shall be reimbursed for meals only if the employee's travel requires an overnight stay. That's currently the policy. The overnight stay eligibility is based on travel of over 40 miles from the employee's home or work location. And the amount of reimbursement shall be up to $40 per day, subject to submittal of expenditure receipts. So what that does is instead of having a certain amount assigned per meal, it gives a little flexibility to employees traveling to be able to have their meals reimbursed for their travel, but not be bound by certain amounts per meal. So anyway, that's my recommendation for that change in that particular provision, the admin code. And again, I hope to have a full administrative code draft for your review, hopefully by next month's meeting. But we do need to try to address this if you all are in agreement with it.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
We have a motion by Commissioner Adams.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Gerald. Any questions? Be happy to answer any questions related to it. We have a motion and a second. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? This being a special call meeting, we stay to the agenda, so we will now ask for a motion to adjourn.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Gerald, second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sager. All in favor? We stand adjourned.